Hello, everyone. This is Jay Dobbins of the official Marvel DC Multiverse. We are now at episode 494, and I'll be discussing one topic, which is Vincent D'Onofrio still wants to face off against Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So, unfortunately, we're not. Unfortunately, he's not going to be appearing in any Spider-Man film. But however, both of them, Tom Holland and Vincent D'Onofrio, are both actors that are pretty much who have worked in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or the MCU for shorts. But they have distinct roles and potential interactions. Vincent D'Onofrio playing, Kingpin. He's a major villain in the Daredevil franchise, while Tom Holland, is playing Peter Parker's Spider-Man, of course. But yeah, so in the Spider-Man movies, Vincent D'Onofrio is Mayor Fisk, of course. So, or Mayor Wilson Fisk, or whatever you want to call him. But yeah, so while there is a lot of interest in seeing them face off, Vincent D'Onofrio has ruled out Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, appearing in a Spider-Man movie, citing legal and contractual complexities. So, but I'm going to give you guys more detailed information about this. So sit tight. But so Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. Let's start off with that. So yeah, he has been playing Kingpin since the Daredevil series, and his character is closely tied to the Daredevil universe, even though I believe Kingpin made his first appearance in the Spider-Man comics before appearing in Daredevil, but whatever. So then, of course, you also have Tom Holland Spider-Man, who has been playing Spider-Man in various MCU films, and his character has a different set of storylines and villains. So, and then of course, potential for a meeting. Let's talk about that. These are also brief details of each of these categories, I guess. But so just a brief breakdown, pretty much. But so as far as like potential for a meeting, while fans have speculated about a potential clash between Kingpin and Spider-Man, D'Onofrio has expressed doubts due to the complexities of the shared universe agreement between Marvel and Sony, who each have separate contracts with the characters. So let's talk about Vincent D'Onofrio's speculation. So in a recent interview, D'Onofrio did speculate about the possibility of Kingpin meeting Spider-Man, but also expressed uncertainty about it. And this was reported by Entertainment Weekly. So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Sony and Marvel Studios really need to sit down, and discuss a deal or something, because people want to see D'Onofrio's Kingpin against Holland's Spider-Man. And I met Vincent D'Onofrio at Planet Comic-Con, and I told him that I hope that you face off against Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, and he replied by saying, "I hope so." People want to see that, and if Marvel Studios and Sony can agree on something, it can work. And if they do make it happen, they can make some serious money. They could probably make $1 billion, or maybe double that, you know. And on top of that, Marvel Studios gets 25% of the profits. Because say if Spider-Man makes $1 billion, you know, Marvel Studios will get 250 million of that money, while, you know, and this is, I think, is before taxes, I think. But then, of course, Sony will get 750 million, you know, of the profits. So it's a win-win. But, you know, Marvel Studios wants 50, but Sony's like, no, they don't want to do that. But like I said, I don't care if they fight one time, because right now the only superheroes rather, that Kingpin has fought in the MCU are Daredevil and Kate Bishop's Hawkeye. And however, in Echo, Kingpin and Echo didn't fight. That would have been nice though, but so far he's only fought 2 superheroes in the MCU. Well, yeah, he fought as far as like, well, actually, scratch that, 3. John Bernthal's Punisher in Daredevil season 2. So, but yeah, 3 superheroes instead of 2. But yeah, 3 superheroes for sure. And however, he did fight, as far as the villain goes, he did fight Bullseye in Daredevil season 3. But I do want, however, the main fight we want to see is Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin versus Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So I don't care if they do like a brief fight or whatever, but at least we can get a feel of what that would be like. You know, it could be one fight scene, or it could be 2 fight scenes where, okay, Kingpin fights Spider-Man one-on-one, and it's either Spider-Man loses, or it could be a tie between them, a draw. Which I prefer the draw, to be honest with you. But say Spider-Man breaks into Kingpin's quarters and he finds them or whatever. He can either fight them one-on-one, or he can get the anti-vigilante task force to fight Spider-Man. He takes them all out. Takes them all down. Not out, sorry. Takes them all down. And then here comes Kingpin, you know, last standing. So then, of course, that's when he clashes against, you know, Spider-Man, and I guess Kingpin has upper hand, and Spider-Man gets away. And then, of course, he realizes, okay, this is not, you know, your normal human being. You know, this guy has I wouldn't say superhuman strength, but let's just say that his strength is above peak, you know, of the normal peak. So that can work, you know, for sure. But I prefer, you know, a tie against Kingpin and Kingpin and Spider-Man for sure. And then, of course, later on, you know, Daredevil and Spider-Man fight against Kingpin. So that would be nice. But to see at least one fight between Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and Kingpin would be great. I mean, that's all the fans want, really. That's all. Is that too much to ask? I mean, come on. And on top of that, y'all can make some serious money off this. But y'all fumbling the ball, man. But Kingpin did do a reference for Spider-Man when he became mayor, talking about, oh, you know, we don't need the city don't need no gun tooting, you know, some gun tooting vigilante with a skull on his chest, or someone dressing up in a spider outfit. So he was referring to Punisher. He did a Punisher reference and a Spider-Man reference. So obviously, Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin knows of Spider-Man's existence, pretty much. So that's a start, but we still want to see that at least one fight, you know, and maybe, you know, a cameo at first, and then a fight later. Or it could be just that one cameo, which is the fight, you know. Which I prefer that one, to be honest. But come on, guys. But yeah, Sony, Marvel Studios, make it happen. Because Kingpin is pretty much technically he's a Spider-Man villain, you know. But for some reason, y'all having him in more Daredevil, shows than Spider-Man movies, which is pretty crazy. But I mean, but come on, make it work. So, and let's not forget that he did make his first appearance in, I think it was Amazing Spider-Man. So, but yeah, it's hold on, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember what issue was that. Because Kingpin has been in. Oh, wait a minute. Now I remember. Kingpin made his first appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 50 in July of 1967. So therefore, Kingpin is technically a Spider-Man villain. And then, mainly. But mainly a Spider-Man villain. Not mainly a Daredevil villain, but he became a Daredevil villain as well, but that was later on. But mainly mainly Spider-Man. Mainly Spider-Man villain. And he was created by Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. So, yeah. Come on, man. He needs to be in more Spider-Man films than freaking Daredevil. But y'all just gonna make him a TV villain for the MCU? Come on. Y'all could do better than that. So, but we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. Hopefully they'll do a deal. Or they might surprise us in the Spider-Man Brand New Day. You never know. But that concludes this topic. Feel free to follow us on Instagram. We're available on iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, and of course Twitch.